Right, so it's just bang on. Well, I'm just going to go for my time, 1 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully there's still people coming into the room. And if I just try and scroll down this list and find who I need to find. Right, what I'm going to do is just mute you for a second, Roger, there. I'm going to, we've got myself and BL Lewis. So I'm Simon Greenhalgh, in case you don't know me or never heard me before. Internet marketer and SEO. A long while back, did a lot with websites, and I was providing SEO services. And then when everyone got slapped, when everyone got slapped, where's BL? Staff. BL. There you go, BL. Can you hear me now? BL?
Yep, I'm in. Hear me good?
You're in, good, right. Okay, so yeah, I'll just introducing myself then. Simon Greenhalgh. I used to do a lot of SEO work on sites, and then I also did a service and had about 10 staff in the Philippines. And then when everything hit, I just kind of, all the sites went down, and I just gave up on it and started getting into product creation. But recently, over the last sort of 4 or 5 months, I've just been becoming obsessed with it again. So I think it was just a passion, really. So that's got me into the company of some, fantastic guys, guys like Andy Black. I don't know if he's on the call today, probably a bit late for him. And then also I've met Kevin Byrne as well, who does very well with SEO. And then I was introduced to BL Lewis, and he had a fantastic product that I loved, and I wanted to get involved with. So so that's what we did. And then more recently, today, I've also, and I'll now unmute you, Roger. We've been having a bit of a discussion in one of our forums. I'll unmute you as well, Neil, so we can introduce you and Roger. So this webinar was originally came from the launch of Position 1 Profiler, yeah, it came from the launch of Position 1 Profiler, and that was a great product that did a lot of offsite optimization, and sort of planned out how you could get your websites ranking. So what I decided to do was, I thought, wouldn't it be good if we could get a small group of people together each month and call it like an SEO surgery. So this is the SEO surgery, and for today, I'm obviously the consultant doctor. BL is probably more of a junior, and I'm not really sure on Roger. He's got a reputation, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'd let him all over my sites yet at this stage. But obviously, I'm joking there. BL and Roger have got fantastic reputations, and we're really excited to go through this. So I'll just explain exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to pick. We've had 3 sites submitted to us, and BL has installed his Position 1 Profiler plugin, and he's done a full report on it, and where he thinks they've gone wrong, where they can improve, and we basically made it a caveat that it didn't necessarily have to be that that the site got completely trashed. It could be that they'd just grown to a level where they wanted to grow more. And people were submitting lots of different sites. We had dozens of sites submitted. So the last few days, BL has been going through all these sites, and he's going to put a report together. So which one are we going to be going for first, BL?
We're going to be doing a website called checkwebsitetraffic.net.
Right, well, what I'm going to do is I will stop showing my screen, stop showing my screen, where are we? Click stop showing my screen, and change presenter to BL Lewis. Right, so there you go. So now you'll have to share your screen. There you go, BL. We can get you there.
I'm in.
Right. So
let me know if you guys hear me clearly and see my screen.
Yes.
Everybody here okay? So whose site is that?
This one was submitted to me by, where's the name at? Let's see if I have the name. I don't have the name right in front of me. I'll pull it up in a second.
Actually, you sent it in an email.
Oh,
to
Ryan.
me.
Okay, yeah, this one was sent to me by Ryan.
It was sent by Ryan. Did you have a second name?
Yep.
I've got not got a Ryan in here.
Yeah, no, I had this one was sent. This one was sent to me directly.
Oh, it was sent to you directly.
Yeah, they replied.
Right,
Yeah, they replied.
can we just? I'll just open the questions up. Who can you just say that's your site in the questions if that's your site? No, we don't seem. Maybe the person who submitted the site is not actually here at the moment, which is a bit unfortunate.
Okay.
So, Neil, I'm just going to mute you for a bit as well. Actually, no, I won't. Neil, I'm going to unmute you again. You can mute yourself, can't you? So Neil can mute himself. We're just getting a bit of sound coming through. Roger, you're still unmuted, aren't you?
Yes.
Right, and you can mute yourself and then come back in when you need to. Right, so it looks as though the person whose site this was is unfortunately not turned up. So we're going to go through it anyway, and hopefully maybe there's something happened and they're late or something else, and they're going to come a bit later on. So I'm going to hand this over to BL now, and hopefully we can just learn something just by going through somebody else's site. So first of all, maybe you want to tell us what the complaints were, BL, and what you found yourself. So I'm going to mute myself now and hand it over to you.
Okay, so essentially this person was ranking this website for check website traffic and some other terms, but as you can see here from the diagram, right around April or so, they dropped right off to where they're pretty much getting no traffic at all right now. So they thought that they were hit by Penguin. As you'll see as we go through, I've determined that it's likely they were hit by both Panda and Penguin because they have issues both on with the off-site optimization as well as the on-site. So we'll step through that now. Okay. So I guess before I get started, first I want to thank everybody that showed up for showing up. Today is Valentine's Day. We were trying to put this together on different days, but we're having some scheduling conflicts. But we wanted to get it to you guys as soon as possible so you can start taking advantage of some of the stuff that we're going to be discussing. So thanks for joining us on this Valentine's Day, and we'll move forward from here. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is go inside the website, and we're going to look at a report that was generated using some data from Majestic SEO inside a Position 1 profiler. And then I'll walk you through the steps that I did with the plugin to analyze it. Okay? So I know most of the people that were invited to the call were customers of Position 1 profiler, but in case you're not, essentially it's a WordPress plugin that will allow you to analyze the backlink profile for your site or competitor sites or anything like that. So it accepts data from Majestic SEO, Ahrefs, Google Webmaster Tools, and Open Site Explorer. Okay, so this particular report was generated with Majestic SEO. So once the tool finishes analyzing...
Sorry, BL, can I just stop you there? We just had a question. What we're going to try and do is keep the Q. We are going to have an extensive Q&A question at the end, but this one is from Tim, and he just asked what is Panda and Penguin. So obviously Tim is maybe quite a beginner, and these are some slang terms. So I'm not going to stop anybody else speaking again now because we are going to have a Q&A, but. So maybe just save your questions till the end if you could, please. Okay, I'll hand it back over to you now, BL.
Sure, no problem. And just quickly for Tim, I'll just say that essentially Google does little tweaks to their algorithm in attempts to basically get richer search results. So Panda and Penguin are essentially just code names for some updates that they made to the algorithm to try to address people that they feel were gaming the system, so to speak. Okay, so that's essentially what those were, and those those came out on given dates, and when they did, it caused a lot of trouble and caused a lot of sites to lose rankings. So this particular site that we're going to review was believed to be hit by Panda, but as we'll go through, you're going to see that we'll explain why. The site looks like it was basically hit by both. Okay, so as I was saying, once we put the site through the plugin, it generates a report like what you see on the screen here. Okay, so this first top of the report gives me some metrics that I like to look at that generally play a role in why a site is not ranking or why the site may have been penalized. Okay, so this first little chart here is showing me, it says live versus dead, and what this means is which of the backlinks that was found for this particular site are still available, or which ones are no longer there. Okay, and what we've seen by analyzing a number of sites is that many of the sites that were hit by Penguin have a very high percentage of dead links. So as you can see in this particular example, the site has 77% of the links are being reported dead. But with the plugin itself, the way it identifies a dead link is essentially if that link was where it was originally. Okay, so sometimes this, so this should generally be used as an indicator, but may not be the end of the story. So the first thing I do when I see something like that is I go down and I'm going to look and see how far back this goes, because depending on what data source you're using, this could go back a long way. All right, so this one is going back to 2000, to September 2011, which is not too far back, so that's okay. Sometimes you'll see it goes back to 2008 or 2004. So in those cases, that would impact the dead link count, because the older the link gets, a lot of chances it's going to move or it's not going to be there anymore. So if that was the case, then essentially what we do is filter it by date so that we could just see more current links. All right. So in this case, I did go through and look at some of the links, and a lot of these links are legitimately dead. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why this site is having issues with rankings. The next metric we like to look at is just what percentage of the links are followed versus no follow. Okay, I know we have some newcomers on the call, but we're not going to be able to get in every detail. But what I just recommend is that you take notes on these particular terms if you're not familiar with them, and you could easily find 100 articles on them if you Google them. Okay, but in this particular case, the no follow percentage is 29%, which wasn't bad. So what we're looking at here is essentially what Google is looking at when they're looking at your link profile is, does it look natural or not? Okay, and if you have all follow links, okay, and follow links again real quickly are links that pass page rank from the sites that's linking to you, then that looks unnatural to Google. So a natural link profile is going to have a certain percentage of no follow links in there. So one of the mistakes that many people make is that they understand how follow and no follow work, and they try to just focus strictly on follow, and that ends up again in them having an unnatural profile and being impacted by one of the updates inside the algorithm. Okay, so in this case, this actually is not bad. This is a good safe, a good looking, natural looking no follow percentage. The next thing here we're looking at is raw links versus total. So again, when people are building links to their site, generally what they like to do is they learn about anchor text. So every link that they have going to their site, they use anchor text, which is essentially a word or phrase inside the link that points back to their site. Okay, so again, a natural looking link profile is going to have a certain percentage of links that just has the URL of the domain or the page that's being linked to. Okay, so again, we found that this was something that we saw in a lot of sites that were hit too, is that they had a lot of, basically they had all anchor text links, which again, Google can clearly see looks unnatural. All right, so in this case, he has about 3.57% of the links which are raw, which is a little on the low side. So one recommendation would be that basically in diversifying the anchor text, that he use some more links that just contain links to the pages on his site. Okay, moving down a little bit here, we have inner links versus home. Again, this all plays into assessing whether the profile looks natural or not. A common mistake that people make is that they send all of their links to the home page of their site, and again, that's one of the things that we saw in sites that are having trouble ranking, because it doesn't look natural if you don't have links going to the inner pages on your site as well. Okay, so here he's in good shape as well, because his home is only getting 14.29%, and the rest of the site is getting 85% of the links. So that's a safe and healthy looking link profile. It's actually a little heavily weighted on the internal, which tells you he may have been pointing a lot of links to the internal pages as well. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is come down here and get a look at what type of links is being built for this particular site. So when I'm starting to assess this particular area, I really don't want to look at the entire site anymore. What I'd like to look at is just the particular page that we're ranking for. I mean, that's being looked to be ranked. Okay, so what the plugin will allow me to do is if I hit the filter links button here, I can just filter on the page. So in this case, he was looking to rank his home page. So I'm just going to click on the links to the home page so we could just see what type of links were being built for the home page. Okay, so the first thing that stands out to me, of course, is that, again, a large percentage of the links are dead. The other thing that stands out is that he doesn't really have a wide variety of link types. Okay, so there's really just a small percentage of link types that are available here. So again, with a more natural looking profile, you're going to have, and you'll see it in some of the other sites that we're going to examine, but you're going to have a wider variety of links, a wider variety of types of links coming to your site. So it won't be just press releases, article directories, blogs, or whatever. You're going to have Web 2.0. You might have some blog comments. You might have some profile links. So you'll have a more diverse range of link types coming to your site. All right. So we'll recap all of this. But so one of the things I would do in terms of improving this particular site is that I would start to basically expand the different types of links that I'm getting. Okay. So we'll flip over here to anchor text. And that's the next thing we'll look at real quick. Okay, so again, as part of Penguin, one of the things that Google was looking at was over-optimization of anchor text. Okay, so I don't have the report up here, but I looked at some of the sites that was ranking for this particular keyword, and their anchor text percentage was down in the teens. Okay, so this particular site is up in the 38.89% range, which is on the relatively high side. Okay. Let me just see something here. Okay, we'll flip back. Okay, so one of the things that we need to do with this, again, to make sure that we avoid the penalty, is that we need to diversify this anchor text more. So one of the steps I would take in terms of repairing this is that I would stop building links to this particular keyword, and I would start diversifying it so that I have other, similar terms, mix it up with some brand links, mix it up with some raw links like we discussed before, so that we could bring down this percentage, so that we could be more in line with what we're seeing some of the top sites that are on that are ranking for this or currently have. Sorry, okay. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so that's some of the adjustments there. All right, what else we got? Okay. We'll just take a quick look at the site. If you guys have anything to chip in there, you guys could jump in now. I'm going to flip over to the actual site now, and what we'll do is look at some of the on-page factors. You guys still hear me, Simon? If you're there, just let me know you hear me good still.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, I can hear you. This is Roger. Can I chip in while you're going on over there?
Sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys chime in, because right now this is some of the off-page elements. So if you guys want to chip onto this before we move over and get to the on-page, and I don't know, we want to take a question or two from what we covered so far.
Yeah, we could do. Yeah, we've got quite a lot of questions. So let me just hang on. Where are we? 25. There we go. Right. I'll go back up to 10 to 15% max. Follow. I'm assuming that means no follow. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's really a figure on that, is there?
Not that I'm aware of. Again, it's going to vary. But the thing is, if you have very low no follow, then that's kind of a signal that something's not quite right. Okay, so again, with these things, it's going to vary. With no follow, I wouldn't focus too much on trying to hit any particular percentage. You just definitely don't want to be where you're at 100 or have just 1%. You just want to make sure that you have some no follow links in there.
And then another question was how do links go dead?
Okay, so that's a great question. I should have covered that. So as part of a natural link profile, you're naturally going to have some links that are going to die. Okay, so whether it's a blog that went away, that was there before. Another thing that the the plugin detects that as dead, that is not necessarily a problem. That's why I always tell people when they ask me is that this is just a general indicator of something you want to look at. Normally, if it's this high, there might be a problem, but it could be just based on the linking that you're doing. But again, if you're using blog comments or if your links were found on the home page of a particular site, what may happen is that as more comments are added or as more articles are added to that home page, that link may roll off the home page, okay? And then just overall, you're going to have a certain percentage of links that just go away, okay? But when it starts to get, you know, in the 50, 60, and getting higher and higher, that's something that you want to look into to see what's causing that, okay? So if you're finding that you're having a lot of dead links where the links are legitimately gone, then what I would recommend you do is basically you want to change up the type of links that you're doing so you get some links that are going to stick. So, I mean, aside from the penalties, you know, potentially being impacted by a penalty, the other thing is that you're no longer getting juice from that page passing to your site. So if your links are, you know, if you're putting them up and they're constantly going away, then that's not helping to keep your site, you know, pushing your site up and building up the authority for your site to help you keep progressing forward. If you guys want to chime in, just chime in too as well.
Hey Bill, it's Roger. I'd like to discuss this anchor text profile a little more in depth. I want to ask you a couple of questions. Do you have a rule of thumb? I have a rule of thumb that I'm using now, but I link across over 1 million pages, and it's all automated. So what I do is I never allow the main keyword or the domain name, which is most of the time be based on a keyword. I never allow that to get over 10%. Since Penguin. And that's working really well. Another point that I would make is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6. Yeah, Ryan has 6 keywords that he's been working on.
Right.
I would turn that into 60 or maybe 100
or more. Right. Correct. Yep.
Yeah, and it would be stuff like click here and see about this guy over here and things like that. Just totally non-relevant, irrelevant. Words that a blogger might use to call attention to the link for his audience.
Yep, and that's definitely what's, again, a good catch there. That's definitely something that you're going to see inside of a a natural profile. You're going to have some for more information, some click here's, things like that. And yeah, that's one of the items I did cover in the training for this, but I missed it. Just now.
One of the things. One of the things that I do as well, which works very well, is the more powerful. I say more powerful. That's the wrong word, but the sort of manually built, the manually built links like Web 2.0 properties and your own private blog networks and stuff like that. I will use branded keywords to point to the domain. And maybe my most valuable keywords. So I'm not going to go say, put a long tail keyword from one of my most powerful sites, and then I just go and take maybe thousands of long tail keywords that are related to the niche, and they get hammered onto the first tier, and I think we've all seen when we look at these profiles now that there's sites ranking for pretty serious search terms with very few direct links, straight at them. And when you look at the anchor text as well, it's almost always like the branded name, or just the actual the website name, like Alexa.com or something, something like that.
Yep. Absolutely.
So
yeah, and yep, no, that's correct, and that's also we had discussed some of that, and in the update to the plugin, what we're actually going to allow you to do. So normally what we do when we're looking at the anchor text and looking for those branded links. So we just identify them within here. But one of the updates that we're working on is that we're going to actually allow you to enter your brand names in here, so that when you run the report, it's going to generate one more chart, like in this area, that's going to give you a percentage of branded links as well. So that's, yep, we definitely look at that as well. So that was a good one. Okay. Any other questions or anything else on this one?
So is that basically your your sort of final say on this particular
Yep.
site? You think if it have you
Yeah, that's just the on-page one. So these are the items that would have and when I looked at some of the other ones, these numbers were even higher. So these were this is some of the things that would have gotten the site impacted by Penguin. I'm going to flip over now. We're going to look at the actual site itself, and then you'll see where there's some over-optimization on the homepage as well, which, again, if you look at when this site dropped, right around this time, what they did is they released Panda first, and then had Penguin in the middle, and then they released an updated Panda again, so he probably got, hit a few times within here, and that's what pretty much led to this drop right here.
Yeah,
okay? Yeah, so if we actually go to the website itself, you'll see, check website traffic is just standalone inside the title here. Then you can see we got the big check website traffic here. And then if you look throughout the site, he's basically using a lot of techniques that people use.
Way too over-optimized. I mean, I'm going to show later on when my bonus that I'm going to give for everybody coming on to this webinar today is I'm going to go through a site that I'm building like right now. I've got like 3 posts on it, and I'm doing everything the way that I think is the future of SEO. My opinion. But I mean, to look at that now, I mean, it just screams, I don't want anything other than you to click on an ad.
Right.
It's keyword stuffed. It's ads right above the fold. Affiliate links, no doubt, everywhere. It's not really offering much value. That would need sorting out.
Yep. And guys, this is I mean, some of these tactics are things that used to be taught, quite a while ago and used to seem to be effective, but they no longer work today. So when you hear people saying SEO is dead and things like that, it's not really SEO is dead. It's just tactics like these are dead now. So the italicizing, underlining, the bolding, and just loading up with keywords, this type of stuff doesn't really work anymore. So again, this is something that would need to be adjusted, heavily, and so that this site doesn't, so that this site is not penalized for so much over optimization of keywords on here. Okay. Some of the other things that stood out to me, just in terms of content, I'm not going to open up all through the site, but there was just like a link to, a squeeze page on here. Really wasn't that much content. As you can see, there's no navigation. So I mean, in terms of SEO today and some of the newer things you want to look at, I mean, Google is looking at overall user experience. Okay, so we look at the site in terms of somebody landing here and being able to easily navigate, find other information, and things like that. This site, is not currently offering it. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why Google would no longer want this on the first page and have it presented to visitors, search visitors. All right. You guys, anybody else, any other guys have any comments? Any other comments they want to add? Okay, so I mean, I'm not going to stay too long on this site because I mean, there's a lot of other things that can be done here, but we'll probably touch on some of them on some of the other sites that we're going to go to. So we'll just move forward, and you'll know that some of those things we talk about there can also be applied to this site. So take that into account when you're listening to, is that the things that we're covering is not fully comprehensive, but it's just addressing some of the main issues that are glaring and stand out. But there are a number of other things that you can do to optimize and make the site perform better. But these are some of the key things that's definitely impacted, and it's likely the cause of why the site dropped from where it was. And is no longer getting much traffic. Okay. So I'll just move over here. So we'll move over to patient number 2. So this one was I did a bad job of getting the names together. LED versus LCD.com. Neil, you should have that on your list if you want to look and see who submitted this one. I don't know if Neil's still there. I'll start bringing up the report while we're waiting. Actually, I'll flip over here real quick. So this particular site was doing extremely well, up to 21,872 visitors in a month. And then, as you can see, the ranking starts slowly dropping, to where they're now pretty much at a fraction of where they were previously. All right. Neil, is Neil still with us? Okay. I guess if this is your site, you could just comment in the chat box just to let us know if you're there, so we'll know that we could interact with you and take questions from you as we're going through. All right, so I'll just proceed along, and Simon, you can let me know if anybody, puts their hands up and says that this is their site.
Sure will do, yeah. And
Okay.
I'll see if I can find Neil as well.
Okay. Okay, no problem. All right, so I'm not going to go through all the explanations again as we went through it on the first one. As you can see here, this one has live 57% of the links here. So what I do too, again, like I said, I come down and take a look. This is from 11/2012 is when the data starts from, so this is relatively new. 57% isn't bad. So what I do with the plugin again is, if I want to get an idea of what's going on with dead links, I can come in here and do filter links. I can just choose the dead links and then do filter links here. And what I do there is I'll come down and then I'll just start going through. So I may expand this out so we see a little bit more links at one time. And then what I'm going to do is start clicking on these. Now, if you're the one, this is not my site. If I was building links or, so on, I might already recognize these sites and be able to see what they are. But essentially what I'm doing is clicking on them to determine if that link is truly dead and why it's dying, okay? So I kind of want to skip through and look through all of the different sites here and get an idea of, why these links are dead and what adjustments I need to make if necessary. Now, if I see that it's just rolling over to the next page or it's a comment or what have you, then I'm not going to be too concerned about that number, okay? So generally, I'm just using this here as a guideline to tell me, well, I filtered now, so it's saying 100%, but let me clear the filter. So generally, I'm just using this as a guideline to tell me if there's something I need to look at, and then I'll go down and I'll dig deeper in here to see what's going on with the dead link count, okay? So let's just go through and look at some more. All right, so followed versus no follow, again, this is healthy, so they have about 17% no follow. I mean, no, they have 82%. Well, 82% no follow. Actually, this is this is a little high on the other end, so I'm not quite sure what links they're doing that's getting no follow, but I wouldn't quite go this far in terms of getting no follow links. Now, there's some discussion and some recent tests that people have been doing to kind of say that no follow links are still passing juice and helping rankings, but again, depending on what you're doing and what linking methods you're using, I'd look at this and I wouldn't want to have a no follow range that a no follow percentage really that high. Okay, Roger, you have any comments on that one?
Bill, no, I don't actually. I don't know. I'm going to ask you: is there a penalty for having too many no follow?
No, it's not necessarily a penalty. The reason I just say that is because of the no follow, as we know, doesn't really pass page rank through. So, I mean, in terms of trends and what I'm seeing, Google is putting a lot of more weight, it seems to be, from what I've been looking at on the authority of the actual domain itself. Okay, so if you have a huge number of no follow links percentage like this, then that page rank is not necessarily passing over to your site, which is therefore, not giving you the authority you may get if you were using a higher percentage of follow links. So that's really would be the only. Yeah, so that's really would be the only concern. Other than that, again, I've seen sites. Again, that's why I said it really depends on the linking method. So all of these things that's in the plugin are really just indicators for you to dig deeper. Because I've seen sites with high PR that have a lot of no follow, but they were getting them from YouTube. So for whatever reason, it looks like although you're not supposed to pass page rank was being passed. So so again, these here are all just indicators of things that you may want to look into and see what's going on. But by just looking at it, we don't really get the the full answer. So again, with the tool, what you can do is you can come to let me go down on my filter links, and you could just simply come down here and select followable no, and filter the links, and then we could just look and see, okay, where's all these no follow links coming from, and then that'll be able to give you an idea of if it's something you need to modify or what's going on there. Okay. In terms of raw links, again, it has a very low number of raw links, so this is something that I would recommend. You start building out more links in terms of pointing to the URL itself. Okay, just again give it a little bit more natural looking profile. Moving down, we see that 19% of the links are going to the home page, which is, again, not bad. again, there what we're looking out for is if we're seeing 80, 90, very high percentage going, going there, which is something that we want to try to avoid. So as you can see here, and like Roger was mentioning earlier, this particular site has a pretty nice link profile in terms of link types. So it has a wide variety of links that are going to the site. Okay. Now, if I filter out, let me just go here. If I filter out the dead links by clicking on here, so that removes all the dead links. One thing I did notice too is that the site has a very large percentage of comment links. Okay, so that's heavily weighted. So a lot of times, again, those come and those roll off, and it takes a certain level of maintenance if a good percentage of your links are all coming from comments. So, I personally would recommend that you maybe, take some of the weight off of the comments and add a little bit more weight on some of these other linking methods as well, which would help you to have, links that kind of stay in place a lot longer. And if you're building links to those pages, then you could actually help to boost the authority of those pages as well, which then filters back down to your site as well. Okay, so Simon kind of alluded to that a little bit earlier, but one of the techniques that we're doing and that we see being effective is putting more links to your tiered links. So if you have this a particular blog coming to your site, especially if it's coming off a site that has decent page rank, if you start building links to your page, then that actual page will start to acquire some page rank as well, and then that page rank gets filtered down to your site and helps to keep you boosted. And again, links like these normally are going to stay in place, so that page, so over time you keep accumulating more and more of those links that have page rank, which is going to help to continue to boost you up, and and it's going to be a little bit more solid than if you have a lot of comments, which generally turn to move around. And just like I can identify this is something that Google could easily identify as well in terms of what types of links are coming to the site. Okay.
Brian McLean was asking a couple of questions after the no follow. He seems to think that you'll suffer a penalty and that it's not natural. And he's asking, where is this site placed for its main keyword?
What was the first part of that question?
The first well, it wasn't a question; it was a statement. He was saying that you would get penalised for having that many no follow links.
Okay, so again, that's not something that I know to be the case. So if
I don't know it to be. I wouldn't say it is a fact. I mean, I've never had a conversation with a Google engineer, so I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, again, we're all speaking from our experience and from the experiences of trusted others, but I don't know it to be a penalty necessarily. And like I mentioned, I've seen some sites that some pretty decent authority, and when I looked at them, a lot of the links were coming from like a YouTube and things like that. I've also seen a recent case study where somebody just threw not only no-follow links, but links coming from sites that were de-indexed, and they were seeing some decent results. So, these things, again, as Google, is very dynamic, so, what's working today or change, or was not working yesterday, could change, or as Google makes their little tweaks and removes things that are ranking factors or not ranking factors, these things adjust. So this is kind of one of the points where we kind of run this, recommend running, something like this on a monthly, a bi-monthly basis just to continue tracking. We run it against competitor sites as well to kind of get an idea of what's going on there as well. So, so if you know that to be the case, or if that's something that you want to do for yourself, then this is something that you can look at, and you would want to adjust in that case. But I've never seen where just having this particular percentage gets you penalized. So, yep. All right. So what else we got here? Okay, so another thing in terms of let me just filter this now, because right now we're looking site wide. So I'm just going to filter down to the home page only. All right, so let's filter just on the home page. And again, we could easily filter on any of these other pages, but most of the people are trying to rank for terms on their home page, so we'll just focus on that for right now. Okay, and then we'll flip over to anchor text real quick. Okay, so again, you see LED versus LCD. This was the term that he was targeting and was ranking for previously. Okay, so 20% is not necessarily, on the huge side. What we've seen is if you hit 60 or above, that's almost like a guaranteed death wish. We've seen sites ranking with with percentages like this. And the other thing that offsets this, which I've found, is his domain name is LED versus LCD. So like we were talking about before, this is almost like a branded link because it's an exact match. So this is one of the advantages that I've seen with exact match, where they can get away with a little bit higher exact match anchor text. You know, you don't want to get carried away, because this is almost like a brand link too, and that's something that Google understands. So if people are linking to the site by brand, these are the words that they're going to use, because that's the name of the domain name. Okay, so he's heavy there, but you know, like Roger suggested, we generally try to keep everything down in the 10% or lower range as well. But this does vary by niche. So what I like to do is look and see what other people in that niche, what percentages they're at, and then kind of use that as a sort of guideline as well. And as I mentioned too, if you're actually using an exact match domain name, what I've seen is that you have a little bit more allowance in terms of using exact match, and 20% is not extremely high as well. Okay. What else we got there? Other than that, as you can see, there's a pretty good diverse range. So this is something that's good being done. You know, as we alluded to earlier, you see you have a branded, raw link in here. Okay, some people call them naked links or whatever. We have a good range of different keywords that's being used. And again, this is just the top 15, and you can see 26% is other keywords that's being used as well. So that's something that's actually good that's being done. So there's a good amount of diversity here. You know, so whether this, when we flip over, you'll see chances are part of this may be Panda that's getting this site, and not necessarily Penguin, based on what we're seeing from the profile here. Okay. All right. So anything before we move on to on-page? Any other questions coming in on on-page stuff and what we covered here, or if you guys have any comments? Okay. Anything, Simon? I don't know if you're still there.
Just a question, just some of the info. I have an opinion. Brian has an opinion.
Okay, what you got, Brian?
Which is fair enough. You know, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
SEO by its very nature is based on opinion, because unless we're gonna have conversations with Google engineers, then we're always going to be sort of taking best guess and doing it as scientifically as possible. And I think that this tool is doing it as scientifically as possible.
Okay. So what was Brian's comment? Yeah, and that's, again, I don't claim to have all the answers, and I don't think any of us does, but what we could just use is leverage the experience that we have, pull data in and do analysis like this, and this helps us to figure it out as best as we can. But like Simon said, if, only Google has the 100% answer to all of this, but this is things that I've been seeing in terms of my experience and things that many of the people that I work with. But again, we don't have infinite resources to be able to test every scenario and look at every case. Again, part of some of the things that we see coming out of the Facebook group that we have is that some people are using techniques and seem to be having success with it that I probably would never touch or go anywhere near. But it seems to be working out for them. So that's pretty much the nature of SEO, like I said. All right, what did Brian have? What was his statement, or was that something we wanted to cover, Simon? I don't hear you. I don't know if you're unmuted or not.
Okay, I have to keep finding that button. Sorry, what was the question?
Okay. No, I thought you said Brian was making a statement. I don't know if it was something we wanted to have a discussion on, or we just kind of.
No, I don't think so. He was just had an opinion on how he was interpreting some of the data, and I guess it can be interpreted in different ways. So quite within his rights there. So,
okay. Definitely.
Yeah, I think we're probably about time to move on to your on-site stuff now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So this is actually the page itself. Okay, so Simon, you may be able to chip in here, or if you guys do anchor tests. So the first thing that stood out to me is, I know one of the updates that Google made, and you guys, I don't do much AdSense, but this kind of stuck out, and I said I'd just bring it up, and if you guys have experience with this, you could let me know. But this particular big ad block right here at the top. So I know there was an update in the algorithm that was looking if you had big ad blocks like right at the very top of the page, that Google was kind of frowning upon that in terms of it being a bad user experience. So there was some impact on rankings if they saw things like this.
I think the other thing as well is not only does it like give the site the site owner a bad reputation of just kind of trying to milk the most of the money out of it, but the other thing is it will, if people, because it's positioned in such a way that people do click on it a lot, you got a massive bounce rate as well. So the rest of your site's never getting seen. So you've got a really low time amount, and so yes, you might be making 40 cents for a click, but your bounce rate's high. Your time on site is very low. Because of that, your rankings go down, and then you're not getting your 40-cent clicks anymore. So it's like a self-perpetuating problem, really.
Right. Yep. Okay. The other thing I saw here too was, again, a little bit of, well, I shouldn't say a little bit, quite a bit of over-optimization in terms of the keyword as well. So we have LED versus LED, and if we go down, you'll see again that's spewed throughout the site here, and that's one of the things that Google, has pretty much a laser target on in terms of penalizing. So in terms of cleaning this up, I would look to, again, these things used to work before, but you really don't have to go so heavy on the same keywords. Now, I don't know what different variations you might be able to use. Sometimes that helps with just, because of these, these are acronyms, but it's pretty heavy on LED versus LCD. The other thing I noticed too, is down at the bottom, another thing that they don't like as well, and this is from Google itself, you'll listen to them, is that, you can't really have 100 articles or a lot of articles on the exact same topic. Okay, so the home page is talking about LED versus LCD. We got another article here that's LCD versus LED. Then we just kind of flip it around, LED, LCD versus LCD. So there's quite a bit of content on here that's on the exact same topic, and that's generally frowned upon right now. So as you see here, it looks like he has been adding some other some other content on here. So how much money is your HDTV costing you? Is there really such a thing? So I would recommend adding more related topic-based content on here that's related to the keywords that you're trying to rank for, and not just having, especially just the same exact keyword, but only keyword targeted phrases. Okay, so I mean, like one of the things we do, and some people don't like to do it because they don't see it as, driving revenue. But when we're building out our sites, we have what we call revenue content, and then we just have, authority content where it's just topic information-based videos, but there isn't necessarily a link or anything to click on to earn money on there. So on our site, you're going to find a lot of useful information, and then that also helps to drive traffic from a lot of organic keywords and long tail keywords. And then generally, again, if the site, the navigation, like this particular one, doesn't really have a good navigational structure, if you do, that'll drive people to click around too, and then they'll actually run into your other content as well. Now, the percentage of people that do that is relatively low, but you still can rank the other keywords that you're actually targeting while making Google and other people visiting happy by having other topic-based content that just contains good informational content that's useful for visitors. Okay.
Sorry, Brian was just making another good point as well, and it's plain to see from that site, really. I mean, that's like you said, LED TV versus LCD TV is technically a different keyword, but I mean, you're gonna get more or less identical content. There's just no need to have. There's no need to have, and Brian rightly says, never have 5 articles on the same site consecutively.
Right.
Same keyword. Check your title and meta descriptions using Arial font. Arial font 12. I've actually heard that's 14 now, Brian. But anyway, we'll go through that later. My bonus is basically going to be showing you how a site now, in my opinion, and it's possible that Roger might prove me wrong, because if he can get himself a little case study going and we have a bit of a competition, but the way I'm doing it right now, after my months and months of reading and dedication and courses and everything and testing, I think I've got a pretty good system going now. So yeah, you can tell just by looking at this site here that it's just, I mean, that site would have ranked really well 2 years ago.
Right, correct. Yep. And eventually it caught up with it. And like I said too, yeah, that's fine. So we'll flip over here to an internal page as well. And again, you kind of see the same type of thing. One other thing I want to mention too is, again, and this is based on information from Google itself, is that they're no longer liking to see too a lot of necessarily the same content in the navigation structure as well. So it's better to really organize your content into particular topics or groups and then link to them. And then also they prefer a dynamic linking, which is every single page doesn't necessarily have the same exact links on the right-hand side. So, what we do is initially we use plugins which will allow you to create a dynamic navigation structure. So let's just say like, one particular topic you was talking about was LED televisions or whatever. Another one was 3D televisions. As you go to each page, then the articles that you have and the links you have on the side will be more content that's related to that particular topic. Okay? So, again, there's plugins, like display widgets, dynamic sidebars that allow you to have this navigation structure a little better. And again, this plays into the whole user experience push that Google is going for, where again, as visitors come to your site, you make it easier for them to find related content and to navigate through your site. It also helps for the spiders that's coming to your site and and crawling the site as well. Okay. So I was going to say there's also themes now too that offer where you can add, different sidebars, and then you could just use the base WordPress menu system to put, related links for that particular topic or that particular category on the side here as well. What else I got here? I did see on this particular page doesn't have anything. I did see on the home page looked like it had a decent, amount of good social signals going here. We got some Google shares, some likes, things like that. So those are some of the positive things. I do think as things continue to progress forward, I mean, we're already, I'm already, I think it's been happening, but I'm seeing it more and more, the impact of things like Google Plus and, authorship, which Simon, I imagine Simon's been doing that for a long time, so he may address that when he covers it. But social aspects, if you think about it, I mean, Google, the idea behind the backlink was that somebody was giving a vote for your site. Okay, so Google knows that can be gained to a certain extent. So while links still work, I think more and more emphasis and weight is going to be placed on social factors as well going forward. So it's a good idea to start building that up and kind of keeping it in tune with your linking as well. Because if you have 30,000 links coming to the site and you got no shares, no nothing, the way the web is right now, that's a little bit unusual. Depending on the niche, depending on what type of website you have. So just saying that this is one of the, I guess, the positive points. So that was pretty much I had it for the. I don't know if any of you other guys want to add anything else for this particular site.
I'll add a couple things, BL.
Sure.
You're right. You and Simon both right. This is perfect SEO 2 years ago. One thing he could still do, I don't know if he wants to salvage the site or not, but if this site were mine, a couple of things I would do. I would get that LED versus LCD out of all those H3 tags or whatever they are, those heading tags for all those pieces of content. I would get that out of there, and actually I would replace them. What I'll do is I would find me a Google Suggest scraper. You can probably do it in Scrapebox. And I would put in LED versus LCD, and I would scrape everything out of Google Suggest, which is going to give you all the keywords that are relevant to that phrase that people are already searching for. And they're going to be tightly relevant, but they're not going to be the same. And I would replace all of those right there and all those links in the sidebar with all of those new articles, headlines, and content. And it might give him an immediate boost.
Right.
But that would be my suggestion. Also, I want to say, this plugin is badass. I haven't seen it before, and I'm kind of coming into this webinar kind of cold on the subjects that you guys are covering. But that is a badass plugin. I'm going to grab a copy of that tonight for myself. It's still open.
We'll hook you up. No problem. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, dude.
Yep. Okay. I guess this was the other thing, too, that I looked at as well. I think the site itself is a page ranked 3 on the domain level. And if you look just in terms of keyword selection and thing, right now, like I said, this inner page, I mean, this is, this is some of the competition that the site is kind of going up against as well. This is what we're talking about in terms of authority. Like, this is an inner page that's a PR5. I'm not sure what the home page of the Asia.cnet is. Also, this particular CNET one, again, an inner page is a PR5. PC Mag, PR4. So he was ranking up there before, but he's probably going to need to do some work in terms of getting more authority going to his site as well if he wants to compete with these larger players. So that might be, there's a number of different ways to do it. I mean, one of the easiest ways is basically just building out relevant sites with relevant content that also have authority. So essentially, you're building out your own network that has that's built with high PR sites. You can make them on relevant topics, and you can put excellent content on there. And within those content, you just link back to the home page and various pages throughout your site, and that'll also ultimately over time that'll help to build up the authority of your page as well, and help you to compete with some of these bigger players here as well. Because if we look down, as you see, a lot of them are, the inner pages are ranking high. And when I looked at the home pages, they're very high, high authority sites as well. As you can see, this guy snuck in with the the Google authorship, and that's that's some of what you're seeing as well, which is that's giving people a pretty good boost and getting them on there as well. So those are some of the other things that you can do. What we do in terms of that as well is we use a lot of videos. So we use video sitemaps, submit that within Google Webmaster Tools, put the sitemap on our site, and sometimes we can sneak in here against these other sites, in this way. And we personally, we used to do it with YouTube. Right now, we were using Easy Video Player 2. We moved over to Easy Video Player Suite. But one of the things that did is it gave us this larger icon like that, and instead of it saying YouTube here, what it said is our site. So instead of people having to do 2 clicks, which is go to YouTube and then hopefully they click your link, it actually shows our domain name there. And when they click on it, like how he has this video on the page here, it takes them directly to this page. So that way now you got them landed there. And because of what they're doing with the universal search, that was a way for you to creep up here as well. So one of our sites that we had that did get slapped, probably a year or two ago, that's one of the things we went and changed a lot of the on page. We added some unique videos, did that, and within a day or two, surprisingly, it was back on page 1 again with showing under videos. But again, once you clicked it, it took you directly to our page and not to a YouTube. So that was just one other thing I could add on that one. Okay. All right. So no more questions there. We'll move on to the next one. So this one I didn't get to dig into as deep, but we'll take a look. So abloodpressure.com. I don't know if we ever got Neil back. I'm sorry, I didn't bring the names over. But if this is your domain, you could put something in the chat box and let us know it's yours, and that way we could interact with you if you have any questions. All right. So as you can see, this domain was doing pretty well. It was going up, and then got to about 3,044 visitors or so in its peak at around March, and then it started kind of tanking. And then it went up a little bit, and then it's kind of settled around here. So around 737 visitors versus around 3,000, at its prime. Okay, so essentially the owner wants to know how can he recover this? How can he get back here? All right, so we'll go inside and just take a look. Okay, so live links here. Again, I see only a small percentage of live links. So again, like I said, my first step usually is just to come and look and see what the date range is. So again, this is one of those, this is an older site, so its backlink data goes back quite a while to 11/2008. So I know some people see that and they just, they're like, oh no, but what's happening here is, again, as the links get older, especially with the plugin, because it's not actually, it's looking to see if the link is where it was originally indexed. It's not going and searching deeper in the site if that site, if the link was on the home page and moved off. So what I would do here is I just come to date, and then I'm just going to filter and just do probably the last year of links. So we'll just make this 2012. Let me just see where it ends. It ends in 12/19/2012. So we'll come here and we'll just filter by date. Okay, so that's the first step. Okay, now we come back up and we're still seeing a lot of the links are still showing as dead. Okay, so my next step now is I'm going to come down and I'm going to do filter links, and I'm going to just do dead links, and I'll do filter links here. And what I'll do next is I'm just going to come down and kind of take a look, so I can expand this so we get a little bit more. And what I'm going to do is go through these links, click on them, and it'll take me to the page, and I'll get an idea of what's going on with these links and why such a high percentage of the links are dead. So again, aside from just being penalized, if all your links are going away, that means like having, essentially no links at all. So I didn't get a chance to go through all of these, but this is basically what I would recommend you do, is just come down in here and click on these links and just get an idea. Now, it could be the type of link that you're getting. Again, if you got a lot of tag link, things like that, those things roll off. So, this may not necessarily be as bad as you look. So you just want to go down and examine this and just see why do you have all of these links that are showing dead. One thing that we notice, again, as we continue to use the plugin, is that a lot of times if you're on a tag page and things like that, so one of the features we'll be looking to add to the new version is that you can basically filter out tag links like this. So that way it'll give you a little bit more accurate picture without you having to go down and kind of dig through these and see what's going on. All right, so let me just clear that out real quick. Okay, followed versus no follow. As you can see, there's a pretty small percentage of no follow links here. So again, you may want to look and see. Let's see how many. We put the mouse here, we could actually see. So out of this one has 6,621 follow links and only about 112 no follow. So I would recommend that you look for some other sources and maybe increase that a little bit so that it looks a little bit more natural. Raw links is about 6%, which is, I would say isn't really bad. That means you do have some links coming to you for your URL. Again, if we didn't look at the anchor text yet, but if you need some diversity in your anchor text, then that would be a good way to add the diversity while also making it look a little more natural, because you'll just have the straight URLs versus the anchor text, which Google knows is used to kind of game the system. Homepage. Again, we have 67% of links going to the homepage, so that's on the high side. So you don't want to just have all your links coming to the homepage. So with this one, what you're going to want to do is make sure that you're sending links also to your inner pages as well, and not just the homepage, because that can look a little bit unnatural. So this is a little bit on the high side for that. Okay, let's move down here to links by type. As you can see, the link types are not too bad. It's not too tight. This could obviously be expanded a little bit, but it's not necessarily a requirement. Let me just kill the dead links here so we can look a little bit more at what's alive. Okay, so you see we got rid of the dead links, and we have the blog links are about 40% or so. And that's neither here nor there. That doesn't necessarily mean bad. There's some that wasn't identified, so you can go in here. What the plugin will allow you to do, for those that either didn't go to training or not familiar, is with the unknown links. What you can do is inside the link settings here, you could filter on unknown links. You could come add new domain link type. You could put the domain name in here, and then you could specify what type of link type it is. Okay, so if you have a lot of links that were blog links and you have the domain name, you can just plug that in here, and when you refresh the report, when this runs, it'll clean up those unknown links as well. Okay. All right, let me see. I didn't get a chance to jot any notes down on this one, so we'll just keep going live. Move over to anchor text, but first let me filter. So let me just filter on the home page for this one. So we're looking just at anchor text for the home page. Okay. And when you filter, make sure you're doing all of the home page links. If it had index.html or index.php or anything like that, we want to get all of those, not just the first one. So any links that technically do hit the home page, you want to grab. So we'll do filter links. Okay, all right. So now we see the primary, they're targeting hypertension at 40%. Again, let me just look at the let's look at the home page here. Okay. So I'm guessing there's not much on hypertension here, so I don't know if they're hoping that somebody lands on the blog and just kind of clicks on some of these links or some of these ads or something like that, but we'll come back to the on page, I guess, in a second. But hypertension is 40% of the links, so again, that's kind of on the high side. I'm not sure what this one is. We have to filter on this to see what type of link this is. Is that 28%? So again, this looks like the anchor text is being relatively over-optimized. Now, just in terms of the search itself, in terms of targeting that keyword, I mean, we're not getting too far down the line on that. Not sure what that is. Again, I'm thinking maybe they're looking for traffic with regard to the keyword selection. But if we go here as well and look at, you know, who's being competed with, you got some pretty high authority sites that are being that are on the first page of that. So if you're looking to take down these sites, then, you know, just like I mentioned earlier, it's going to take, you know, boosting the authority of your site pretty high, or using some tactics like authorship and videos and other things to sneak your way back on to page one in the mix of all of this, you know, pretty high authority competition that's on this page. Okay. All right. What else we got? So that's it pretty much for that's all I got. Again, good things. Again, you see some of the raw links in here, and they got decent percentages here. So that's pretty much all I have right here for the off page and some of the adjustments I would recommend. If you guys want to chime in with anything, you guys could chime in.
I think you covered it all pretty good, BL.
Okay. All right, cool. So we'll just jump over to the actual site itself. Okay.
Right.
So,
well,
I didn't take any notes.
Are you moving on? Sorry, have you got some more stuff to do now for your three sites? Yeah,
I got just this one more, which is the on page.
Okay.
I didn't do exhaustive, and I'd be interested to hear Roger's take on this based on some stuff that we saw inside the Facebook group.
Yeah.
But I kind of looked at this. There's not really, again, there's a lot of linking, a lot of stuff going here, but there's not really much here for the visitor at all. You know, there's some links to some other stuff here. There's a video tucked way down at the bottom. But the first thing I noticed too is when I went to this actual article here, which is at the top here, I said, let me just check and see what's going on. So I ran it through Copyscape, and I could see that it's actually the exact match of the exact text is on another site. You know, so healthexpertadvice.org. So if this is continuing throughout a lot of the content on the site, where you got complete duplicate content, exact duplicate content, you know, this is 100%. 100% match. You know, the numbers here is taking into account these ads, but in terms of the actual content, this is 100% match in terms of content on another site that's being highly featured on your site. So if a large percentage of the blog is like that, that's likely having an impact as well. Roger, any thoughts on that? Because I know in one of the things we were discussing, there was you was mentioning things about pulling content and things like that.
Yeah, I've found even if you pull an entire body of content from pages on another site and you put it on your site, you're not going to get a duplicate content effect or penalty. That's not exactly what duplicate content is, and what I'm saying is backed up by sites like the Huffington Post. Huffington Post is a big auto blog. That's all it is. It's a big old automated auto blog. And everything that they put on there is duplicate content most of the time from somewhere else. All the stuff that you see that's trending in the news and that's popping up and they're ranking for real quick, something will happen at noon and they'll have an article on it from somebody else at 2 p.m. and they'll be ranking at 1, 2, or 3 for the search term. It's all duplicate content. So duplicate content and aggregation or distribution of content to other sites is not the same thing as duplicate content. And you know, I've been fighting this quote-unquote opinion from a lot of people for a long time, but all I use is duplicate content to do my research. So I feel that I'm pretty well versed.
That's right, Roger. I mean, I've never for 1 second ever argued against that. I mean, the perfect example are all the news sites that just pull, you know, each other's sites, and then, I mean, a lot of them will put on some kind of commentary, but commentary could be user generated in comments, you know, and I mean, you will get a penalty. What you will get a penalty for, though, is duplicate content on the same site.
Absolutely.
If you've got duplicate content on the same site, and that can come from, let's say you've got some categories, and in those categories are some articles, and there's two, because you've got the article on its own, and then you've got category / article. that's duplicate content, and one of those will go into the supplementary index. And if your site is full of that, then well, you will get slapped eventually.
Now what I'll tell you about in terms of that was not necessarily just Google penalty, but I didn't look at the authority of this site. But just like again with press releases and the examples you're making, what I find is, like if I do a press release, there's duplicate content on a lot of sites, but when you actually search for that particular term, the sites with the highest authority is the ones that's going to show up on Google. So the point being is that although, if you have a lot of content that's coming from other sites that have higher authority than yours, they're going to come up and you may be put into the section where, you get that thing that says there's other search results that match, but we're just showing you this particular one. So if these particular pages were ranking, but then, but then a higher authority site has the same content, it's possible that that site is going to come up higher in the results than you, and therefore they're going to get the traffic versus you with the same content.
Perfectly stated.
Huh?
Perfectly stated.
Right, yeah, so that's what I was kind of leaning towards in terms of if there's a lot of this and it's coming from sites with higher authority, then they're the ones really probably going to get the traffic. You may show up on the page because he does have some comments underneath, and he does have some comments underneath and so on, so that gives him some, that adds to it. That's why, again, you'll see, one of the things that we were talking about in the group and that I sent out to my guys is that, we'll get 2 of the same press release ranked on the same page along with our content and take 3 spots on Google, again, what would be considered duplicate content, but because they add enough stuff around it, they're able to rank that content as well, and Google doesn't see it as an exact copy. So that's more what I was alluding to in terms of the duplicate stuff.
Yeah, and I'll expound on that particular point a little more. Anytime you mix, just say we're mixing articles together. Anytime you mix one half of one article from one site and one half of a different article but with relevant content from another site, and you put those 2 halves together for a whole article on a third site, that is no longer duplicate anything.
Right.
That is called a mash, and mashes do very well, especially if you just take the 2 original articles and put them both top and bottom on a third website. Now, instead of 500 words per article on each of these 2 original sites, and you aggregate those 2 articles and you put them on the same post on a WordPress site, now you have 1,000 words of beefy content that's all super relevant, and that beefy content might allow you to beat both of those original articles.
Right. Cool. All right, so like I said, I didn't get to do too much of a deep dive into this particular one. I don't know if you guys had any other thoughts or any other things in terms of this particular page that you might have wanted to comment on. I mean, if we look at the home page here, like I said, any thoughts on this home page? Because, I mean, a lot of linking is going to this home page. I didn't get where they didn't submit to say what particular keywords they were ranking for. But the other thing I noticed is they are still ranking for a lot of keywords and in position 1 for them. Some of them low volume, some of them some decent volume. So the site is still getting some traffic and is still ranking. But a lot of probably what was ranking before seems to have fell off. And, it could be due to some of these reasons, some of the other things that we covered already in terms of, anchor text density, over-optimization, things like that. And if you have a lot of content that may be being outranked by higher authority sites. Anything else to add, guys? If not, then I don't want to think we've probably gone past the allotted time for this particular segment. Okay, any questions coming in, Simon, on this particular website or some of the stuff that we covered?
Someone's just said, I noticed the earlier first site he showed up just 1 page or mini site, so that means it's possible to rank a website that contains only 1 page. Yeah, I think it's been proven. There have been many people who have done it. When they first rolled out all the algorithm changes, wasn't there a website that was ranking like almost number 1 for Make Money Online that had absolutely no content on it at all? I'm pretty sure there was, and it does happen. I've also seen. I also spoke to Alex Becker recently as well about some articles that he's been getting ranking with just basically an image on the page, and that's it, and getting them ranking for a keyword that gets 8,000 exact search terms. So yeah, I mean it can be done. It's just, I think the thing is, it's just so hit and miss. And for me, I'm not going to spend my life building trying that type of thing out. I just want to build. I want to build sites that I feel are going to stand the test of time.
Correct, and I'm of the same opinion as well. In terms of, again, we're in a very dynamic search environment in terms of search engine optimization, and I don't really want to look at just what's happening today and what's happening right now, but I mean, Google does give cues in terms of what they're looking for in terms of user experience and what users are getting, from the site itself. So, although it may be working now, or a particular technique may be working now, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to jump on board or you need to run with it. You may want to look. So this, we had Panda, we had Penguin. Maybe when Pelican comes out, those sites don't rank anymore because Google doesn't feel that's providing a good user experience. Again,
I'm going to go through now what I'm doing. And I honestly don't think that it's possible for any algorithm at all to ever affect me. But just a couple of other questions. One of them was from Wes that says, "Is the sale over?" Well, there was no sale on this webinar. Really, I didn't want it to be even called a webinar. What this is, Wes, this is me doing a monthly SEO surgery. That at the end of this webinar, I will offer you a monthly subscription to be part of it every month, and I'll go through all the details of the bonuses and everything else later. But what we're going to do is we're going to get real people. You can submit your sites in, and I'm going to get experts in every week as well, and we're going to go through real life case studies of things that work and things that's not, like right in front of your eyes. So it's not some course or anyway, that was the idea with it, and there's been a lot of good interest in it. Another question was, I have a blog post shows on the home page, and then I have a big blog page. So the blog is accessible from two places. Is this classed as duplicate content? The answer to that is yes, it is. That is what duplicate content is, and the way to combat it is you can always choose any page or any post or any article to be no indexed, and you just ask for it not to be indexed. So every site, especially with WordPress, will have a lot of duplicate content on it, and that's why they have all these things like where you can choose to not have it indexed and everything else, and that's how you do it.
And a pretty good plugin that does a good job with that is the WordPress SEO plugin. So they have a lot of settings in there right out the box, and there's ways you could go in there and tweak that so that the proper canonical links are put in place and things like that will allow Google to, so you could basically tell the search engines, okay, yeah, this is showing some of the same, but we know the real link is this particular place, and we're not trying to game the system or anything like that. Also, just containing like a subset of the content as well versus the whole post. On the other page also helps as well, especially if it's, again, put together with, additional posts, and you have those settings in place.
Yeah. What else? There's a couple of other questions as well. Brian says the homepage have more than 2,400 words to be classed as authority. I don't know if that exact statement is true, but what I do know is that when they did a test of, they did well, it will have been a segment of all top ranking sites that were ranking #1 for any particular keyword. The average number of words for them top ranking pages was around about 2,400. That was a test that was done. So I mean, that will take into consideration obviously some highly competitive keywords, but as an average, if you want to be aiming towards the top, you want to be looking at around about that kind of number of words. Another question from Shirley: is it true that doing a 301 redirect to a new domain can help when a site has been penalised? If so, what is the best way to do this? Is it true that doing a 301 redirect to a new domain when it's been penalised. So what you're saying is you've got a brand new domain name penalised really quickly. If that was the case, I probably wouldn't even bother going to the effort of buying you know, like a high PR. I think what you might be thinking of is something that I used to do. I don't do it anymore. But when I used to build out an authority site, I would buy a load of high PR, like 12-year-old sites, 15-year-old sites, whatever, put on some relevant content onto each one, and then 301 redirect them straight to this, and it would pass on some authority. But again, just the way my system's going now, I'm just like, it's not something that I'm playing a part in anymore.
Yep. And I think I know what she's referring to. Yeah, people have put that out there as a way to kind of beat the penalty, but I haven't tested it. I've seen a lot of different things. I've seen where, you know, if you 301 a site, essentially the new site becomes the old site, you know, in Google's eyes too. If you go and put info : and put the old site name, you're going to see in the search results that you know, I mean, the new site, and you'll see the old, you know, the new site. So what I've heard is that the penalty will just follow you there as well. Now, I've seen somebody say that what they've done, instead of 301 in the whole site, they 301 inner pages to other inner pages on the new site. But again, what we've done, we've had sites that were penalized. What we simply done, and Roger does something similar in his approach from what I learned today, well, actually from before he commented, is that if you're to a point where you think it's not salvageable, we'll just stand up a whole new site. We already have data on what keywords were ranking, what was making money, and so on. And then we'll just basically build out a new site with the profitable keywords, you know, make sure that we fix whatever we, you know, was before, and that site will generally recover faster than, depends on trying to fix up the site. So if you don't think it's, you know, possible for you to fix, or it's going to take longer than maybe being able to re-rank content that you already knew is ranking, you already know how to rank, and you already know is profitable, then that's another route that you can take. Any other questions there, Simon? I don't know if you're muted, Simon. I can't hear you. Roger, you still there?
Mate, I didn't even have it on. I was talking away then. Yeah. Anyway, so okay. I asked. There's a question here that's I don't particularly want to even answer, but it says I purchased before from you guys your product Silo bot. Well, firstly, that was mine and Kevin Burns. Had nothing to do with anybody else on this call. Can I use that in my mini website that contained only one page? Well, first of all, the whole point of a silo structure of a site is that it's linking together relevant pages, so you can't do that if you've only got one page. I know it's not relevant to the topic here, but as your customer of SiloBot, please email me. Well, if you could just go to the support desk that was given in your receipt, they will look after you straight away. Kevin looks after the support for all his customers. Okay, next one was Wes. I thank you for this. I do not get here. Where are we going? I did not get here and start. I missed some of the content. Knowing that BL has had the profiler plugin on a WSO, he shows us how he uses his tool. Yet I do not have the tool and do not see the purpose of all the time taken to explain it if I don't have it. I think you're missing the point, Wes, with that one. This product has already been launched. And we didn't intend on selling it today at all. It's just that there's been other people in this webinar was intended for buyers of Position 1 Profiler, but right. Because I thought of this SEO surgery idea of getting in experts and bringing people and making it a monthly thing where we can you can learn right in front of your eyes what's going wrong and being taught by experts how to put it right. That's why I put this on. So I'm sure if at the end of this there are a load of questions for people saying, can I buy Position 1 Profiler Elite, I'm sure we'll be able to sort something out and maybe put a buy link under the replay. But yeah, this was just meant to be content only, pure content.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the other thing to take into account is, again, this tool was developed to make all of these techniques easier and faster to do. So, you know, these are things that you could actually do on yourself using other tools. So to check whether links are still alive or not, you could check whether, you know, sites are follow or no follow. So, you know, some of the components will be a little difficult in terms of being able to analyze and determine what type of link you have and things like that. But a lot of the content should still be pretty useful to you if you understand the concepts, despite what, you know, regardless of whether you have the tool or not. You know, so that you know, that should be helpful as well. You know,
Yeah.
we got a lot of feedback on that as well in terms.
So yeah, so like we said, really, I mean, the whole thing with this webinar was just about some of our customers submitting their sites and us helping them out. We never intended to sell this product; it's already been sold, and I did say that I would make an offer at the end of this to make this a monthly subscription, and I will definitely do that. But what I wanted to do first is just, if you're finished, have you finished with your things now, BL?
Yep, we're all done. We covered the 3 sites and
right. So we've done the 3 sites and we've put together sort of like an idea of how we could rescue those sites. So maybe you could give those reports to back when the webinar's over, give them back to the people. Hopefully they'll implement them. And hopefully they'll come back on one of the next webinars in the next months, and will show us if it's worked or not. So yeah, there's a lot of people there saying thanks for the info, thanks guys, fantastic plugin guys, great info guys. A lot of this was over my head. I will stay tuned. You're absolutely, that is exactly the reason why we're doing this again, because it's all well and good picking up an SEO guide for $7 and then being left out on your own to go and into the big bad world and trying to learn from every mistake. What we're doing here is we're ripping apart our customers' sites. They're submitting them, they're failing in some way, and we're telling them how to put it right. And you know, that's really all it is. So if you could share, get rid of your screen now, and then I'll take my screen back.
Okay.
BL.
If you can, okay. Let me see if I
Hang on, sorry, I'll change presenter back to me.
Okay.
That should get rid of your screen.
Yep.
And show my screen. Okay. So where are we here? Right. So what I wanted to do, what this is now, this is just like my bonus. I said that I'd give a bonus away, and I couldn't really think of anything to give away, to be honest, for coming on this webinar. So what I decided to do is just totally like break down a brand new niche site that I'm building. A guy in my office really loves this this Walking Dead. I hadn't actually watched it, but he really enjoys it, and we decided to build a site around it. So what we did was like most other times, we just went into the keyword research first. So we just go into the AdWords tool, and we went in for, we knew we were going to be making it for an American site, and so we've put in our keyword of, I forget what it's called again, The Walking Dead. So some people call it The Walking Dead, some people call it Walking Dead, The Walking. So we did spend quite a lot of time. I'm not going to go through this, you know, like too much, because we will be here forever. But I'll just show you the types of search terms and the types of competition that we were dealing with and why we ended up going for it. Okay, so I then found out that the Walking, obviously off broad and onto exact. Now, hopefully you can see that. I have a control panel. Hopefully you can see that. So these are the search terms for that particular program. The Walking Dead, local monthly searches, which is the US. I've put that to. Sorry, I didn't. I'll put it on US. It wouldn't make much difference anyway. Well, 550,000 exact search terms for The Walking Dead. Now, what I didn't also realise was that The Walking Dead comic was also part of the deal, and then there was also a Walking Dead video game as well. So you can tell by looking at these straight away, really. If we just sort these by local monthly searches, we've got The Walking Dead and Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, it's up to season 3 now. Now, I wanted to choose a certain number of categories that we could go for the site. So this is how the site's ended up. But bear in mind, we switched. Excuse me. Bear in mind, we switched. We only started creating this site 2 days ago. We've written everything from scratch. I'll just refresh that. We've written everything from scratch. We've done all the keyword research from scratch, and this is how I built the site. And you can see we've got 1,535 people have liked this page already, and I'll show you exactly how I did all that as well. Now, if I just go into the dashboard straight away with the keywords, I'll go into the categories. So the very first thing I did was choose the top categories that were sort of different from each other, you know, that were like the Walking Dead game, and I went for local, and I went for the ones that had the highest search volumes. That was it. I didn't pay attention to authority. I didn't go and look at the top 10. I didn't do anything in that nature. But as it happens, if we were to just go, let's just take one as an example. Let's go to Namecheap. This is where you get really surprised with the keywords that are actually available, and don't listen to people about exact match domains as well. Exact match domains, if you've got one, like a George, whatever his name was, Google Sniper site with 2 pages of content and an exact match domain, them days are gone. But if you've got a domain name that's got, I'm just going to pull that out and just double check other questions. I always will say try and get your main keyword in there. So let's just go domains, register a domain, and I'm just going to take a few out of here just out of interest and look at the search numbers. So don't forget as well, something like Watch The Walking Dead Online, you might think, well, how am I going to monetize that? Well, you monetize that with an affiliate link for Netflix or something along that type of thing. So watchthewalkingdeadonline.com. I bet that's probably gone, but I'll put money on it that the .com them ones are actually gone. So that was a bit embarrassing. But let me have a think of ones that were surprising. The Walking Dead episodes. I should have got my list of the ones, but there were some that were like, you know, very you just would never imagine that they'd be available, and they were. And so a lot of times the .coms were gone, but the .net or the .net or the .org was there. .com, .net, .org is gone on that one. Anyway, I'm not going to go through. I'm not going to waste all your time, but choose another niche, do something similar. Some massive trending thing, something that's huge, something that's got, you know, like, I'll tell you what I did do. I did a similar one for Harry Potter, and all I did was put Harry Potter in here, and a load of search terms came back, and I started putting some of the top exact ones in, and some of them were available on a .net, a .org, or a .com. Now you buy that, and then you build a load of content around it, and you're going to get some rank, you're going to get traffic, and then you match your offer to your traffic source. So once you've got your traffic source sorted, so I knew then, right, that The Walking Dead, so what did I do then? I knew my site was going to be about Walking Dead, and I wanted it to be brandable. So I called the site The Walking Dead Hub, and that was the name of the site, The Walking Dead Hub. So what I did was I went to Google, and I typed in, again, you've seen all this a million times, audio is really breaking up. Sorry about that. I'm probably moving away from the.
You're good for me. I'm not sure who that is.
I'm probably moving away from the mic every now and again. Anyway, so yeah, I would get into Google, and I would type in, you know, the main keyword, the main big niche keyword that I'm going after. In this case, it's The Walking Dead. So I'm looking for, I went on a video game there, I don't want to do that. I want to go on the biggest, broadest one there is. which in this case was, and I already knew it was the it's the company that makes it, amctv.com/shows/The Walking Dead. So I'll take that over to Quantcast. I mean, it's a program about blokes killing vampires. So I mean, it would, sorry to be sexist, but it wasn't exactly a no-brainer when I saw it, to be honest. What was on there? Oh, they don't do right. So let's go for Alexa.com. If not, I'll just do AMC TV anyway. Right, so that's the search results for that. I mean, look at the traffic rank for that. I mean, that's probably for the actual domain. But what I did notice when I got the details for this was that even though a lot of that traffic is going to the domain, and the domain does actually have a lot of other TV shows on it, I found out that a huge amount of the search queries that were coming in were related to The Walking Dead. So it was automatically, it was a no-brainer. So anyway, so then I want to look at the audience. Right, so see, this one says female here, but then when I went to Quantcast, and I actually put in just AMTV, Quantcast, and it's AMCTV. I did have a bit of conflicting information, but again, when you look at this, you can look at the search terms that are coming in, and it's massively in favour of where are we now? Looking for traffic, maybe. Trying to find the keywords that were coming in. I'm not sure at the moment, but anyway, I did find them, and the vast majority of the people that were coming in for into this site were going after Walking Dead. So then I looked at these here, and it's it's 18 to 34-year-olds. It's males. It's basically college guys who are the main demographic for this. So then I thought to myself, right, well, SEO now is not about necessarily building a site and making sure it's all perfectly optimized and making sure that it's working for Google. The biggest mistake you will make now is if you optimize your site for Google and Google alone, and then Google can see that you only get traffic from Google, you will get penalized. You need to have a diverse traffic, coming in from all angles. So you need referral traffic. You need traffic coming in from all these places. You need traffic coming in from people on your feeds, coming in from your Twitter account, which I do have. Again, these have all been set up in the last couple of days. I went and followed 49 people. Now I've got 6 followers. That was like earlier today. And then, in fact, I'm not even following some of them back. And you can see these are all Walking Dead fans. They're all or this person here is just a Walking Dead fan. She's not she's not a marketer. She's not got a page. So yeah, so it's about getting the traffic coming in from all over the place. So one of the first things that I did was I went and set up a Google Plus page for it. So obviously the profile is my profile still, and I set up a quick quick Google page for that. That's one surefire way of showing Google that you're interested in making this brand, and taking it through with Google. Then what I did was I had a look around at some, I believe that was Simon Warner then with a glass of wine. I then went around and had a look on Google, on Facebook. I've actually just been updated with this new this new thing today. I don't know if any of you've seen it. It's in beta, and I've just been given it today. It's really, really good. I'm not going to go into it now because it's just a whole different thing. But yeah, what I did was I set up a page, and it was called "I Love Walking Dead," and that was it. Oh, excuse me. I love The Walking Dead. That was it. That's all it was. And I got myself an image for that, an image for there, an image for there, and I put in a few posts. I think I put in 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I got up to that, and I think I got this one with the sexy woman because of the demographic. I highlighted that one and made it, made it so it was a big one. Then what I went to do is I went into my AdWords account, into my thingy account, Facebook ads account, and I set up a campaign for it. Now I've spent so far, I've had the click-through rate on this one. I paused it because it just went ridiculous. The click-through rate went ridiculous. All I do to do these is I click on. You can even do it from your page if you want, from your Walking Dead page. I don't know where it's gone now, but you can do it from your Walking Dead page, or you can come in and just click create an ad, and you create an ad. I'll show you how to do it now. It's dead simple. You take one of the pages that you've just created. I'll show you this one in a minute as well. I did another one. I love Labrador Retrievers. You get your demographic. Obviously, you can see some of this information has been taken from guys like Don Wilson and stuff. But when you combine it all in with the SEO, and all I'm doing here is I'm bringing another traffic source that's not Google to a website. So I put in I love Walking Dead, and I want more likes. I changed that to love the Walking Dead ? Click like now if you love Walking Dead. Took them straight to the timeline where there was all those images. I did sponsored stories, so friends of their friends could see it, and then they would also do it as well. And then I went for because it's mostly a United Kingdom, United States thing, and then I went. My age were 18 to 34-year-old blokes, men, and then their interests are all the stuff to do with, all the stuff to do with. I'll show them you in here now. And there was about 6 million altogether. So let's have a look at this one that got 48,000 reaches in, hardly any time. I mean, look at this one here now. It's got a 10-cent CPM. So on this particular ad here, which is this one, love the Walking Dead. Click if you love the Walking Dead. 1,702 people clicked. It was who live in the United States, 18 and 34 inclusive, who are male, and then they liked all those things that are to do with Walking Dead. And the actual guy is called Daryl Dixon, so I'll put that one in there as well. And it gave me a reach of 3.64 million, and that within, I set my budget at like $50, and when I got to $50, I got to $50 in like an hour. So I just put another 50 on just to see where I could push it to. This one has been auto-optimized. I don't have to optimize it myself. Because it was so targeted to people who are already telling me that they love this stuff. I know that they're into it because I've checked the demographics out. The click-through rate was unbelievable, 1.165. So that's 1,183 clicks, or 1,310 actions, which is... well, if we do it off this one here, let's go off this. Get my calculator out. Today I've spent... Oh, where's it gone? That's not right. Excuse me. Get my calculator. So today I have I've spent $110, and I got 1,877 likes for that. So divided by 1,877 likes for that. That's cost me just half a cent per like on that page. Now, what can I do with those likes? Well, first of all, I've got to keep the page. I've got to keep the page active. and keep putting in, you know, posts, keeping them. Every time someone comments on something, click like on it. Click like on it, and click like on any time. And look, if this guy's here, click like, he's going to come back. Do it again, and these will grow and grow and grow and grow faster than you've ever seen anything growing. And then every now and again, you might put, now my next one tomorrow is going to be, just wanted to let you know the reason why I've done this is because I've just launched the Walking Dead Hub site, and I wanted to send you over here. Now, bear in mind this is not quite finished, so I probably won't do it tomorrow. This is a Facebook Connect subscribe with Google, Facebook, and email. They can do any. I'm going to get some kind of image in here that encourages them to get in. You'll also notice there's no adverts on it whatsoever. I've got my Google Plus following here, so they can join my Google Plus circles if that's the type of thing they want to do. We've so far only written 3 articles on it, but we're doing 1 a day. And then just to go back to the article, the keywords, what we did. If one of the main the main keyword was The Walking Dead, I would then say only show ideas closely related to my search terms, and then again sort them by local monthly searches, and these keywords here are going to make up the titles of all the posts that we're going to put on. So we can take as many down as we want of them, really. I mean, look how much that adds up to. You know, it's millions and millions and millions. Not to mention what I'm getting off. Facebook as well. This is going to grow rapidly. If I just give you an example of another Walking Dead page, how many they've got. I mean, don't nick this niche. There's really so many things like this out there that you can do that you just don't need to. Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, see, that's the official TV show. They've got 15 million likes and 1.9 million talking about it. This is The Walking Dead Fanatics. They've got 431,000. The Game, 792. Mine's a combination of all 3, and I've no doubt that I'm going to be within maybe a month. I've, you know, tens of thousands of people on this page that I can just direct wherever I like. Now you might ask, what do I sell them? Well, I will on this page, on this site. I'm obviously going to be doing my usual SEO to this as well. I'm going to be doing my high powered backlinks, my Web 2.0 properties, and then spamming the crap out of all those around it. So building a bit of a network around it. I'm going to be sending people from Facebook to here, encouraging them to like Google +1 things, encouraging them to, if you notice what this does as well, it's a bit sneaky. If you reload the page, it comes out, and then when you're going down a bit and you're looking at what you might want to read, and then it should do anyway. I think it's 10 seconds, then it pops out like that, and you can just tweet it or +1 it or whatever you want to do, share it on Facebook. So it might be a little bit annoying, but so that's the traffic side of it. So obviously the SEO I'm not going to go into much detail for, because that's why we're all here. We all know the SEO. We're going to be building Web 2.0 properties around it, and maybe I might build private blog networks as well. I'm going to target my very high powered keywords, my main keywords, on that first tier, and then all those thousands of keywords that I showed you in here. I mean, there's 500 in there, and then if you take maybe Walking Dead Game, would be another category. You can see how many there are of those as well. Not that many, but still, I mean, it's still worth building you've got a category, haven't you? And then you've got 40,000, 50, you've got like 60,000 people that you can attempt to try and get on your site, and it's mostly low competition, and they're perfect for wanting to buy the games. Someone's asked, what social signals do we use? Social signals, I had an absolute nightmare with this. I really did. It was such a nightmare trying to find something. this is the proper Google authorship thing, and I'm going to go through that in a minute. I went to my here, and I went to my just so I move that down there. Go back to my thing here. I created myself my own badge, my own proper. I can't remember where they are now. They're probably in my account somewhere. Are they in settings maybe? I don't know, but I created Google Plus. I'm not sure exactly where they are. I can't remember now, but you could create one, and then I'm going to show. I'm giving too much away again, Neil says. I am giving too much away again. It is something that I have a downside with. My webinars, I give everything away. But anyway, hopefully you can see from this now. I am going to leave it at that now, because this is just the start. It's 3 days. It's 3 days in. And to this campaign, I'm already sending thousands of people to a niche site that I'm going to be able to sell merchandise to. I'm going to be able to sell DVD box sets every time I'm also going to be able to get them on a list. And because I know the demographic, I'll be able to sell them stuff offer CPA offers that are to do with that, and sell them all by autoresponder. So it's all pretty basic. Also, just quickly, I just wanted to talk to you about this WP Social. This is quite important because this is the new stuff. I'm using the Facebook Open Graph, and I'm using that to really get to learn everything about people who visit from Facebook, and I mean everything. Where they live, you'd be amazed at the information that you can get, and then what you can do with. I am going on again, and Neil's going to be upset with me, but with that new, with this new search thing, you can really tap right down into each person's things, the likes and their interests, and you can literally. There is a way. I'm not going to reveal it in this, but there is a way of sending ads to just like a handful of people that are so targeted that they're all going to buy it. There's a load of other sneaky little things that I've got as well about how to get people signed up straight on a Facebook page without even having to send them to the blog here. You can also see that I've got the authorship stars in here as well, and I just wanted to. And then we've got me and Sam have got our Google publishers thing in here, so I'll just quickly show you the structured data thing. This is for this one particular Google search result. That's a preview for that's what comes up in the search engines when thinking. I've got all my linked author profiles and all this good stuff down here that's showing that they've got all the information and everything they need for it to be a respectable website, and that's 2 days in. So right now, I just want to talk about taking this SEO surgery further. I want to do this every month. I want to track my sites. I want every single one of you to put your own sites forward. Obviously, we're only going to do 3 at a time. I'm going to have a different expert on every time, but I'd also like to ask Roger to come on as like an intermediary, because he has his own way of doing things, which is a little bit different. And I'd like to compare the two together. We're going to be able to, as a group of people, we're all going to be able to just get so much knowledge out of this. I mean, we've been going on for quite a while now. I'm not sure what the time is, but I mean, as a newbie, you must be learning so much. I'm getting questions, how do we get the Facebook graph? I can go through it. It's literally too much for me to go through. This is 6 months of me studying what's going to be needed to get ranking in a social world now, and how to make I want that at the top of Google for that keyword. and I want stars underneath it, and I want my page there, and I want Simon Greenhalgh, and I want more by Simon Greenhalgh, which will be my YouTube, which will be my Google Plus account, and I just get traffic from everywhere. And you know, it's just the future is really exciting. So, what is it going to be? What's this? I've got it written down. What we're going to do? It's going to be $47 a month. And that's going to be for one of these live calls every month. And then what we'll do is we will ask for sites, and we'll do the same thing again. We'll do 3 sites. Now, if you submit your site for 3 months on a row, because a lot of you probably know that I do a lot of product launches as well, so I am always bringing in a lot of leads into my company. So all those leads are going to get put onto this webinar for free the first time, like you have, and at the end they're going to be asked if they want to join as well. So there's going to be a lot of people. We might end up having to move it to once every 2 weeks, but for now, if you submit your site 3 times on the row on a month, and you don't get picked to have your site dissected, then you're going to get a half an hour Skype chat with me on my own, where I'm going to sit down with you and put together a plan on how you can fix whatever the problems are. What else have we got? There's also going to be an extra Q&A session. There'll always be recording. That will always be put out, and I will always probably put the subscription button underneath in case you changed your mind by the time the morning comes round, or when you watched it again. But yeah, there'll always be a recording that will sorry about that that will be there available for you to watch. So if you can't make one, but what we are going to do is we're going to do an extra Q&A session live because of the time differences on people. So if someone's going to be, there's a lot of people who are in Europe, and I mean it's 3 o'clock in the morning now for me, and there's a lot of people who wouldn't have stayed up for it. Personally, I'm an obsessive person, so I do. But we're going to do them at different times of the day, the Q&A sessions, so that people from wherever you are in the world, you're going to get taken care of. And my final bonus on this, and this is very limited. I'm not going to be able to do this forever, but every single WSO launch that I do, in this, we're going to put together an SEO surgery Facebook group, and then everyone who's in it is going to be in there with all the experts as well, and you're going to be able to talk to each other, help each other out on a day-to-day basis. And every time I do a launch, as soon as I go live, I'm going to put a naked link in, which not an affiliate link, and every member of that group will be able to go and buy the products for the very lowest price, and they'll get the upsell for free as well. So they're going to get so you don't buy through an affiliate link, you buy through my link. I get full money for the front end product, and you'll get the upsell for free. So normally I start my WSOs at like $7 to $9. So you're going to get like extra software every month for dirt cheap. You're going to save loads of money on what would have been upsells. I mean, I do 3 launches, 2 to 3 launches a month. There's $47 before you even started. So yeah, so that's it really. So Neil, if you've got the link, we can paste the link. Was it Thinking Big? I need the link for the buy link. Let's see if it's in Skype from before. Or did it come into my Facebook?
Well, while you're looking for that, I'll just say that that's a insane amount of value being offered there in terms of what you're able to get for that price. You really couldn't get any one of those things that's being offered for that type of price. So. I mean, one thing I can say that I've learned in doing this is that your results is going to be magnified significantly once you start to get together and work together with other people. Because as you see just from the call alone, with us 3 guys getting together on here, that we all bring a little bit different of experience.
Yeah.
And by combining all of these things together,
Yeah.
It's going to perpetuate it's going to give you, it's going to skyrocket your results and make you move a lot faster than.
Yeah, you're just gonna, you're gonna miss the learning curves. You're gonna miss the learning curves, and you're not just gonna have to rely on an ebook. You're gonna have an expert. It's gonna be like consultancy. I mean, down the line, I will probably go and do private consultancy. So I will work with someone one-on-one to get their site ranking. But this is a group thing. We all benefit. I'm going to get extras. I'm going to get experts in, a different expert every time, so you get a different angle on something. And you're going to get, if your site gets picked, you're going to get given a guide that you can follow to try and fix it. And if you don't, then we've always got the Facebook group for extra help and guidance. So you want to go to Thinking Big. Let's put it in here. thinkingbig.co/surgery, and that will redirect to has that gone in? thinkingbig.co/surgery, and if you click that link, that will take you to the registration page. Register, and as I said, to try and keep you on with, what I don't want to happen is I don't want you to be on for 2 months and then think, oh, my site's not been picked. So that's why I said if we get to 3 months and your site's not been picked and we've not yet moved it to a month, and also understand as well that if we do have to move it to 2 a month on this SEO surgery, the price will go up to $97. You'll still be paying $47, but new customers will pay $97. So I'm not going to try to avoid looking after your site. If it gets to 3 months and we've not been able to help you, I'll work with you one-on-one for half an hour on Skype, and and then you can get on with putting my stuff into practice. So like the next webinar, obviously this Walking Dead game site will have taken on a lot more, because I'm going to start on the SEO. I've done no SEO on it so far. All I've done is the social stuff and linking everything together, so I've not even sent a single backlink to it. There's some internal links been going on. There's a bit of external linking going on there, but there's loads of stuff left to come in this yet. We're going to get all these things packed up with loads of tweets. We're going to get some. I'm not even going to go into it anymore now, because there's too much, and it's going to take like a good couple. This project, between that and the Google Plus page and the Facebook ad page, you're going to be able to see something unfold right in front of your eyes. So unless there's any extra questions, I'm probably just about finished now with that offer. So remember, it's $47 a month through PayPal. It's one webinar a month with a different expert. You're going to get an extra Q&A session if you miss the live webinar. You're going to get a live Q&A in between. You're also going to get the replay, obviously, as well, no matter what. And that'll be available for the entire month. And we'll put together a members area as well, so you'll have all the past webinars to go back and look at as well. If you don't get your site picked in 3 months, you get half hour on Skype with me, and I'll go through your site personally with you and get your plan together. And then another one, just like a little cherry on the cake, you buy the front end of any of my WSOs, and I give you the back end for free. So hopefully there's still quite a few people on the line, so hopefully a lot of you join up, because I do want to build a big group with this, and it was difficult to get a lot of people onto this call, to be honest, but everyone who said they were going to come on this call has turned up, so that's great. So I'm hoping that some people are going to see the value here and realise that they don't have to keep buying WSO after WSO. They could just work in groups with experts, and I can guarantee you that that's how I got as good at doing what I did. I stopped buying the replay, I stopped buying all the books, and I concentrated on taking advice from people who were already doing what I was trying to achieve, and that's when I started being success.
Right.
One question: how do we get Facebook graph? Again, it's just too complicated for me to go into now. It does involve some sort of like code, not coding, but it's I would have to show you how to do it step by step. Only caught a bit of this. We'll catch the replay. Someone said. So yeah, the replay. But hopefully, going to get that rendered right now. There's no point me going to bed tonight now. May as well just stay up and get this rendered, and then I will put that up on a page with the subscribe button underneath it as well. And if there was any interest in BL Lewis's product, is the elite version, we'll put a buy button up for that as well, and feel free to buy that if you liked it. So from me, just want to say thanks very much for joining us, and I'm sure BL would like to say a few words, and maybe Roger can throw down the gauntlet, and next month he can reveal one of his sites, and we can sort of see our sites growing head to head, and see who comes out on top. A bit of friendly banter. So I've got a few people saying they're in now as well. So right, so I'm going to mute myself now and hand myself over to BL and Roger to say goodbye. So thanks a lot for coming, and take care.
All right, thanks, Simon. I just want to say thank you again for everyone that joined. We are aware that it's Valentine's Day, but we've been trying to get this out. A lot of people have been asking and wanting it, so we just wanted to get this out. So we know a lot of people would catch it by on replay. Okay, but hopefully with this being Valentine's Day, some of what you learned here and what you'll learn going forward with the SEO surgery series will give you some Google love for your sites. So I attribute my success to being able to network with other people and get together with other SEOs, especially depending on what you do. It could be a lonely world trying to figure things out by yourself. So it's good just having the camaraderie with other people doing, learning all the different angles. Just again, within the last day or two, really, I guess mainly today, I learned about Roger and some of the techniques he's doing. I'm going to be trying to pick his brain and be able to incorporate some of that into what we're doing as well. So by being a part of the regular series and having access to these experts, I think is definitely going to help accelerate your results. When talking with most other people, it's when they start doing that it's helped them a lot in terms of moving their business forward. So I think it's an incredible value, and I would definitely take advantage of it if I was you. All right. So again, once again, thank you for joining. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'll speak with you guys soon.
All right. Thanks, BL. For you guys who were invited to this call, I'm just going to tell you, I didn't even know this was going on until later this afternoon. So this is the first time for me to interact with BL and Simon, maybe the same way it is for some of you guys. And I'll tell you, I'm kind of flabbergasted that he's going to do this, that these two guys are going to do this for $47 a month. I have a forum that's $37 a month, and really all I do is give a series sets of instructions and then help people get unhung when they're hung. And Simon is not only giving you that, he's giving you some personal time. One-on-one Skype for him to go through your sites that you're having trouble with or that you're just getting started. Plus, he's going to give you every back-end product on every WSO that he releases for the year or while you're subscribed or whatever, and that is huge. First, those OTOs, those one-time offers that come after those front-end WSO launches, those are all very, very well priced, and most of the time killer tools that are being sold there, and you're going to get them for free. That's pretty big, and I'm kind of surprised that he's even doing that, because I do plug-in development for a living, and I use my own tools, but I sell them too. And I can tell you it takes a lot of money to build those tools, to support those tools, and to keep those things working the way they should. So I think you guys are getting an awesome deal. And disclaimer, I don't get a dime of any of it. I was invited here, like I said, at the last minute, but I think you guys are getting a hell of a deal, in my opinion. And I'm glad that I was invited to, because I learned a few new things myself tonight from BL and from Simon. These guys do things a lot different way than I do them, but I think they kind of work from the top and I kind of work from the bottom. And I think if you're in this thing, you'll be really interested to see how the two methods are different, but how they wind up meeting together in the middle and working out to be the same thing, and probably with results that are really close to one another. But thank you guys for listening to me. I'm just old hillbilly from Alabama, but I do appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Thanks, BL. Thanks, Simon. I'll mute out now.
Thanks a lot, guys. So that's the end of it, and I'll send out an email with the replay tomorrow, and like I say, I hope a lot of you signed up, and hope to see you on the next one. Okay, take care. See you later.